everyone, Jessica here for the 22nd episode of Inside Sim Racing. So last week I got to meet Cole Little and the guys caught me by surprise, but this week I don't think we'll have any more surprise guests, so I could sit back, be a little bit more relaxed, and get on with the show. The top story for this week, Darren's going to join me and we're going to talk about some ARCA Sim Racing road course news. Then Sean has more news out of the iRacing camp. From there we'll head to some console racers and find out what's going on with Gran Turismo 5 and Grid. After some PS3 racing, we go back to the PC and have some new segment of the show called the Mod Squad. This is for all the new mods coming out for R Factor, GTR2, GT Legends, and more. Before we get going, this next segment is sponsored by Butt Kicker.
Take your sim racing experience to the next level with Butt Kicker technology. Get your Butt Kicker LFE kit today for only $300 at buttkickergear.com.
So I'm back here with Darren, and what's this? You're doing some road racing with the ARCA cars?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they've ported over the ISI version of Montreal. Mike D was the one of the original track builders on that, and they've ported it over. Some pro drivers wanted to use it for testing for an upcoming race.
Well, I thought that the new track they're building in New Jersey was supposed to be the first ARCA road course.
It's going to be. That's going to be the first purpose-built road course for ARCA, and I see it behind the scenes. They're working on it right now, but. Yeah, this Montreal was a special deal for some buddies.
You also mentioned that Kentucky will be in that as well, followed by Michigan.
Yep, Kentucky's supposed to be up next, and I see Michigan behind the scenes. Dover, I see, is one of them. Lowe's, so lots of stuff going on behind the scenes with the Sim Factory.
Cool. Well, as soon as we find out more, we'll tell you about that here on Inside Sim Racing. But next up, I'm headed over to check on Sean and his iRacing report. So, Sean, what are you up to here?
I'm turning some laps in iRacing. They've got a ton of stuff going on right now, and the biggest news, of course, is Barber Motorsports Park. This track is located in Birmingham, Alabama, and is only 5 years old. Barber is 2.3 miles in length with 16 turns and allows for 3 different layouts: the short A course, the short B course, as well as the full version of the track. Barber Motorsports Park features a constant change in elevation and many different types of corners to challenge drivers. In its short history, Barber has already seen ALMS, SCCA, vintage, and motorcycle racing. It is also home to the Porsche driving experience, as well as their own vintage car museum, which is thought to be the largest motorsports museum in the world. As with all additional content for iRacing, there will be a charge for Barber Motorsports Park, and it will set you back $15. There will be no doubt where the money has gone when you drive Barber, as this is the nicest version of the track I've ever seen. The other great aspect of iRacing is the built-in racing series within. The series are 12 weeks in length, with the 13th week being championship races and special events. This week began the first of the 13th week festivities and will include special racing all week. All members, regardless of rank, will be eligible for the races and can choose from the Battle of the Titans, featuring the Legends car versus the Solstice. There will be the Late Model Madness at Lowe's with up to 40 cars on the track at the same time, the SK Modified North and South Shootout, and lastly the Sabbatical and the Radical. The great thing about these races is they will be off the record or free of rating points. This will allow any and all members to compete against each other for the first time. The next iRacing season will begin on August 3rd and will last 12 weeks.
Alright, Sean, well, thanks for that report on iRacing. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we return, I'm going to check in with Darren, and we're going to have a PlayStation 3 report. So I've got Darren back here for our PlayStation 3 report, and I read a story about the Gran Tourismo 5 competition in the Middle East.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, man. Had no idea this was going on. Kuwait, Dubai, so...
Congratulations to Ahmad El Azmi of Kuwait, who is the best of over 10,000 participants in the Gran Tourismo 5 Prologue Middle East Challenge of 2008. Preliminary rounds took place in 9 regional cities across the Middle East in June and July of 2008, with the finalists invited to Dubai for the grand finale on July 19th. Ahmad walked away with a trip to Japan to test drive a Nissan GTR, a GT racing pod, a 40-inch Bravia LCD TV, and a brand new PS3. You can read about this and more Gran Turismo news at gtplanet.net.
So what else is going on in the console racing world?
Well, Codemasters is starting to release some new DLC, is what they're calling it, or downloadable content.
Some new cars, right?
Yeah, actually, the 2 cars confirmed for the upcoming Grid DLC pack are the McLaren F1 car, which has actually disappeared from their news page, and the VW W12 Nardo. The news on the Nardo is that the pack will feature the version of the car used to set several time and speed endurance records at the Nardo test track in southern Italy. It's going to be added to the Prestige class and will be usable both online and in the single-player Grid World and Race Day modes.
Seems like the console games are getting updates just like a PC sim would.
Yeah, it's great to see that the product you buy isn't the product that you end up with.
Which leads us to our new segment called The Mod Squad. The Mod Squad. Okay, so it's time for The Mod Squad, our new segment of the show covering the modding community. First up, we have a new video on SR2. Hey Sean, that deep voice sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, well, I got a little carried away with the Monza 88 track, and instead of just putting it on today's show, did a whole video and put it up on SR2. As far as the voice goes, well, that's going to have to remain a mystery.
Aw, that's too bad. I was really hoping to meet him.
Well, maybe someday we'll be able to remove the veil of secrecy.
History, speed, mystique. These are the words that describe the track called Monza. Autodromo di Monza is located in the town of Monza to the north of Milan and nestled under the Italian Alps. Monza is one of the most legendary tracks in the world and is also the 3rd oldest permanent racecourse in existence. Completed in 1922, the only older tracks were Brooklands, UK, and Indianapolis, USA.
Okay, so what else do we have for the Mod Squad? Lots of mods, deeply nestled on R Factor Central. Hey, Sean?
Yeah, that includes Sean's Racing School by our good friend Sean Purdy. He's the maker of the Enduro Challenge mod that we use at SSCA.
So, Sean, what's this racing school all about?
Well, it's a great mod. It's made as a training mod for anybody who wants to get real good at open-wheeled racing. But best way to check it out is to watch this segment right here. Sean's Racing School 1.0 is an open-wheeled training car. Sean Purdy built this mod along with some assistance from Dave Purdy. Their intention? A mod that mimicked the cars that people would use when going to a real-life driving school. The cars focused most of their energy on rewarding a smooth driver, but will allow you to overdrive it without getting in too much trouble. Sean has also put work into the clutch to make sure that you are blipping the throttle and matching the engine to the rear wheel speed to prevent wheel lockup. The car started as the default trainer that comes in R Factor, but has gone through some major changes in physics, graphics, and sounds. This mod will make for a perfect racing series car, or as intended as a trainer. Once you learn the mastery of driving smoothly and carrying speed in the corners, or can brake and downshift with skill, then you will be ready to take on the world. If you'd like to go back to the basics, then download Sean's Racing School 1.0 from rfactorcentral.com.
Looks like I should be joining Sean's Racing School so I can get my sim racing career rolling.
That'll be a good place for you to start.
I'm definitely considering it. And that does it for episode Deuce Deuce. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned this week for our new race recap show. And Darren will finally be getting out his NASCAR 09 review.
Yes, I will.
For Darren Ganji and Sean Cole, I'm Jessica Lopez. The checkered flag is out, and so are we.
Sorry, I had to burp.
I should have went the Mod Squad. Now I know you can't trick me anymore.